the Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment. The following views are strictly the views of James Hebert and do not represent anybody that works with the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media or is a part of the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media.
Straight from JHebert Studios, James covers the good, the bad, and the ugly, and gives his perspective on things. Now here is your host, James Hebert.
Hello everyone, it's me, and I am not alone today. I have a kitty cat. Say hello, honey. Say hello to the people. This is the elderly kitty cat that I am babysitting while I am at my mother's, and he is very, very clingy and attached now. I wanted to get some pets right before I started the podcast, so of course I had to oblige. Uh-oh, now he wants to roam around the keyboard. Try not to stop my recording, bud. I beg. Please. I have the bench here next to me, just so that way he can get down easy. Are you just gonna sit here? Is that what you're gonna do? Am I gonna just have to maneuver around you? Is that what you're expecting me to do here? Okay. Here he goes. Oh, you click the mouse. You're clicking the mouse now. Oh, and there he goes. Now he might be going towards his food. I don't know. I just got done feeding him. So here's a little positivity before we get into the negative topic, I guess. Right? I've been good at doing that lately. But yeah, we got a little bud, and he's just being cute. And I think he's getting used to the fact that I'm here and just kind of doing my thing. But yeah, with that said, I'm going to let him go down, do his thing. He seems very confused. I don't think he was expecting dinner, even though it's 7:18. So, I don't know. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I've been looking forward to doing this podcast for a while. Today we cover the Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith story. We actually have a very, very wonderful update, I think, all things considered, because it's never great when you have to divorce. But in this case, I commend Will for doing it as amicably as he possibly can, especially considering the fact that this bitch is still on this train of trying to besmirch his credibility and name, and just blatantly lie as to why they're separating and why this happened and why that happened, and etc., etc. There may be some truth to that. I think even Will alluded to some of that as well. And ultimately, I'm sure they wanted to keep the marriage going for their kids, which I almost bet you was probably a Will Smith thing and not Jada Pinkett's idea at all. I don't think she gives that much of a shit. Because if she fucking did, she wouldn't then be going around and spreading rumors about their fucking father. So I think if it was up to her, I think she would want to, completely separate a lot sooner than they ended up separating. if that makes sense. But we're going to be covering it because I feel it is necessary. And we get a few videos that can kind of catch us up to speed as to what has happened since last time we covered this story. And we're just going to go over video 1. And real quick, just so I'm not completely talking out of my ass, this video is from a YouTuber named Jamari. So we're going to be watching this video real quick, and then we'll be caught up to speed of what Jada Pinkett did, I think right before the divorce, if I'm not mistaken. So here we go.
So just last week, we were talking about how Jada Pinkett Smith has her husband Will Smith down bad via her new book and autobiography, Worthy, that is set to come out very soon, where she professed her forever love for Tupac and posted a video of them dancing around to one of Will's biggest hits, proclaiming that their three souls were forever intertwined. And much like a music artist doing promo for a new album, Jada has been going around doing interviews to promote her tell-all book. And to me, the release of this book could really be the last straw for Will, as he has stood by this woman's side while she has made him look like a clown over and over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, spoiler alert, by the way, it may have been. I think there was other factors, but it definitely was a factor. Just out of the gate, right? And I want to very much stress this point. This fucking shit is wild to me. Like, wild. That it got this out of hand. The fact that she is so in love with Tupac, even long after his passing, speaks volumes to me that this was never going to work out from the off anyway. But, you know, you look at the way she treated Will, and it's like, there is something fucked up there deep. And I hope this cuts deep, because she fucking treated Will like a fucking piece of shit. And, she treated everybody around her like a fucking dollar sign. I think Tupac ultimately dodged the bullet not getting with her at all. Go ahead. Come at me. Fucking call me a piece of shit. Whatever. When you are an abusive piece of shit, you don't deserve my fucking respect. So you're not gonna get any from me. Sorry. Don't give a shit. And the fact that that's, like, one of the major reasons why Will gets treated so fucking poorly always rubbed me the wrong way. And that's why I'll always take Will's side any day of the week, even though what I think he did at the Oscars was fucked up and wrong. But it still doesn't change the fact that this bitch is, I think, more wrong, ultimately, because she kind of started that whole conflict with her stupid, snobby, you better fucking protect me or I'll leave your ass attitude. Like, nah, man. Like, I'm not okay with that. And we'll get into that as we get caught up to date here, but I just wanted to add that little point there, because I don't know if I said that in the last podcast. It's been that long, so if I did, then I did. If I didn't, well, now I said it here, so there you go.
He himself released a book about his life just last year, and he did not embarrass or expose her a single time within the hundreds of pages. If anything, I feel like he just propped her up and tried to make her look as good as possible. And so far, pretty much everything we know about her book has just been these very small excerpts, and Will is already getting crushed once again. So I'm sure there is much more dirty laundry to be spilled into these virtual streets.
That shit stank, don't it? Ugh.
And so in teasing this interview, the Today Show has been dropping a couple of bombs over the last couple of days. And this one really sent the internet into a frenzy, as Jada Pinkett Smith reveals that she and Will Smith have been separated since 2016, apparently.
That I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
right,
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
yes,
y'all have been apart.
Nah, man. Going like this, with the sound effect, talking about your divorce while you're smiling like an evil villain? It's just an insane way to act, especially knowing like the whole narrative surrounding their marriage at this point. It almost feels to me like in absolutely everything she does, not only does she not care about the way it's going to affect Will, but it's almost like at this point she gets off on embarrassing him.
This interview on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen was taped a year after Will and Jada separated.
So real quick, I mean, and by the way, if I keep going back and forth between scenes, it's because I'm not trying to get claimed by NBC or Today. All right, let's tackle that. I think Jamari put it so fucking perfectly. Who the fuck goes on a live interview and just smile about it and literally like act as if you guys aren't together even though you're still married? Not only that, you fucking act as if you're together in front of the public, which I guarantee you probably was a both idea thing just for privacy's sake, right? I don't fault them. I'll actually say I don't fault either one of them for that. But then to go as far as to act like you're the way she fucking acted, right, at the Oscars. And fucking Will Smith having to feel like he has to be a man in that moment and do something. Because again, the times that this bitch has fucking cucked him, the times that fucking, you know, she's gone on and on about Tupac Shakur, who has been long since passed away, tragic or not, right? You're with him. And you're treating him as if he's a second rank, as if he was the second fucking option. Like he's not even option one in your mind. Like you don't, even if that's true, treat him like he is your number one. Like she never did in the entire time they were together. Never once had that ever happened. And it's fucking evident now with the way they have fucking, the way Will and her have gone about this fucking divorce, and she fucking took it way harder, right? So, yeah, just fucking unbelievable bullshit there. Like, the fact that you knew this, and then you still went after all this shit, then you go on not only your book, but you go on the Today Show and then out it to the world. After he had already ruined his fucking career damn near for you. Nah, man. That's shady bullshit. That's fucking shady. Fuck you. Fuck you and the goddamn magical pony you think you rode in on. Fucking spoiled bitch. Like, I'm sorry if I sound like I'm very fucking, like, frustrated and angry and aggravated and probably harsh towards this woman, but I don't see her as anything else but as a fucking abuser. I really don't. When you're doing shit like that and you are manipulating and stretching the truth so much like that to the point where you are trying to make yourself look like the good guy in any situation and make them look like the bad guy and tear them down a peg, nah, you don't fucking deserve respect from me. Sorry.
So how long have you guys been together?
23 years.
Wow. That's amazing. How do you keep it hot?
There's some kind of misunderstanding.
What a fucking lying, like, and you could tell she's not even that great of a liar. I mean, in hindsight, you don't know she's lying, but you know.
Keep it hot. You know.
Oh, by the way, how do we keep it hot? I don't know, cuck your husband, constantly dominate him, constantly abuse him, constantly make him feel like he's less than. That's how I keep it hot, because I'm Jada Pinkett Smith. Fucking
Banging other dudes.
yeah. Thank you, Jamari. You summed it up for me perfectly.
Over the next several years, Jada and Will kept up the appearance of a committed married couple. They even faced a scandal when Jada had what she called an entanglement with a family friend.
Yeah, a family friend who apparently was introduced to the family via her son. Can you guys imagine one of your parents being on that type of time? Like, you introduce them to one of your friends, maybe somebody that you were working with, and then you end up having this whole relationship with them. They're sleeping together within your house.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
You were in your parents' bed with your mom.
That's actually fair, yeah, and that's another fucked up part of this, right? She slept with her son's friend. Like, her son's friend. Like, that's how this whole cut thing happened. It's with his son's friend. Man, that son's gotta feel fucking awkward every day of his goddamn life. Like, he will be fucked up for life. He won't show that. That kid will not show that. Will Smith Jr., I don't know his actual name, he's not going to show that to you, but I guarantee you that's going to fuck him up. Because it's not normal. It's not fucking normal. And by the way, fuck this dude too, because that's a shitty fucking friend, number one. I don't give a fuck if he had permission or not. That's bullshit. I mean, look, the whole family has problems, but the problems start at the fucking top, and the top is Jada Pinkett, clearly. Because she had Will by the balls for years, so obviously you go to the fucking head bitch in charge.
Oh, man. I guess my question is, I feel like you're a straight talker.
I am.
Except you're not sometimes.
Yeah.
So why do that? Like, what was the reason?
Doesn't make absolutely any sense.
No, it does. It does. I'll give them that. To keep privacy if they felt they need to be separated. Although I'm sure Jada wouldn't have even given a shit. Because clearly, when it benefits her, then she'll come out with it. As she did. And by the way, this is before they even divorced. I just want to outright say that. So this is like right before the divorce happens. Right, so this just goes on and whatever. So anyway.
It's like telling someone, hey, I feel like you're a very honest person, except when you fucking lied. And also, I'm sorry, guys, but I just gotta do this.
Still trying to figure out between
I'll show what Jamari did for a second. Hold on.
And also, I'm sorry, guys, but I just gotta do this.
Fuck. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah.
Still trying to figure out between the two of us, how do we present that to people?
And I think some of you guys would be surprised that there's actually a lot of people out there who live this way. Like, it's like they haven't been married for years, there's no affection there, there's really no sense of romance, it's almost just like roommates living together.
Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon for years.
But these people remain married, whether it be, for children, for financial reasons. And I've personally never really understood that. Like, I think that life is a little bit too short, and I could see that becoming very depressing. Like, day after day, you're still around this person who you used to share, like, obviously a love life with. And now that love is just completely gone. Like I said, it's almost like you're just roommates.
Jada says she considered a legal divorce, but could never go through.
There's reasons for it. Again, I think I don't think they were rooming together. I think they have been living separate lives. I don't know if they were living together per se, but I know that they were acting as if they were together on screen. So I guess same thing. I mean,
Through with it.
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever. I just haven't been able to break that promise.
So it almost sounds to me like, based on her tone and everything that she said in this interview, that she really does not want to be with Will anymore. Like, to me, it's almost painting like if Will's like desperately hanging on to the relationship, hanging on to what they used to have, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm looking for a reason in my brain to act like I still love this man.
But you still live separately.
We live separately.
And part of me wonders if this is Jada's final attempt to just kind of set the record straight. I mean, obviously it's been years of people saying that she was cheating on Will, and that basically she's a bad and embarrassing wife, and she's coming out to say, really, I'm not a wife at all. Me and this guy right here, like, we have not been together.
There are different stages in my marriage where Will and I decided we were not together. I was actually thinking about divorcing, separating. I mean, there have been several of those.
And it's interesting to me that when she's talking about this subject, she keeps talking about, I wanted a divorce. I was gonna do this. I was gonna do that. Like, I'm thinking within their relationship dynamic, she's just absolutely dominating this man. There was that video that leaked around a year ago that showed the way she kind of talks to him in private.
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness.
If you could film.
Sam, come help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Don't. No, because she don't just.
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start rolling. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
I mean, Jada's kind of like a husband out here from the 1950s. Like, yeah, I'm gonna stay with my poor wife, but I'm also gonna run all around town. Not gonna show her any love and affection while she tries to cling to my heart. And who...
See, I see this in a completely different light than I think Jamari does. Like, the fucking guy behind the scenes, and it's been outed now that this was the fucking case. The guy was trying to be that rock for her. Right? And there were times where she acted as if she appreciated that. And that's well documented also. Like, you could go and watch back and how she, like, bigged up Will before she started cheating on him and shit. And slept around with other dudes, including, need I even mention, the fucking son's friend. Right? So, it's fucking... And now it's, like, completely different. And he's trying to maintain his image and also trying to maintain this relationship. And at that point, when you're at that stage... It's really hard to break out of that, but because you want to make it work, even if it's at the cost of your happiness, which I do think you can put on Will. Fair enough, if you want to put that on Will, fair play, but I don't think it was necessarily him trying to fucking treat her like a woman, to control. I very much doubt that, because he knew he lost control a long time ago. I think he even mentioned that in his short, which we will get to.
Who gives a damn about how she feels? And so, of course, the whole separated since 2016 arc was kind of the big bombshell. But then this morning they put out the clip where she addresses Will slapping Chris at the Oscars, which at this point seems like it was at least like 5 years ago.
Will then went on a profane tirade warning Chris not to mention his wife's name. Jada couldn't believe what she was hearing.
Fuck off. That's a bull-faced lie. You fucking rolled your goddamn eyes. You rolled your eyes before he went up there. The only reason he went up there is because you gave a disgusted look at his fucking joke. So fuck you for that one. That's a blatant fucking lie. And anybody with eyes and anybody with fucking eyeballs knows it, cunt.
What is going on? Now, first of all, I'm really shocked because, mind you, I'm not there. We haven't called each other husband and wife in a long time.
Ooh.
I'm like, what is going on right now?
My wife's name
out of your mouth, right?
So now Jada is saying, I didn't even want Will to do that shit. She is becoming more like the man in the relationship with every single interview. She's like, you need to sit your ass down and calm down. Like, have y'all ever been with a girl like that, or one of your boys have a girlfriend like that, where y'all try and go out, and she's, like, trying to cause...
Okay. Again, this is what she's trying to pass on. I never bought it for a second, never did, and nobody did, especially with how Will handled himself after the fact. Fucking ridiculous bullshit. Anyway.
Problems, get into fights with other girls, and you're gonna have to end up now fighting this group of guys that's with this girl. And you're like, dude, you need to calm your girlfriend down.
What viewers did not see at the time, while Oscar clips were being shown, was Chris Rock leaning over the stage to talk to Jada.
And Chris looks to me and he says, Jada, I meant no harm. Now, I'm just out of it because I'm really worried about Will.
What's Will doing? He's just sitting there?
And Will's still talking. He's like, he's still, because now he's mad
fucking,
because Chris is talking to
and again,
and go,
Chris Rock dispels that fucking rumor. Again, this is like a fucking whole hit piece bullshit thing.
He's still, because now he's mad because Chris
trying to protect her own ass here.
Chris, this is about some old shit. And I couldn't really take in his apology.
And we have to acknowledge that the reason, at least
So again, and even with the fucking, oh my god. So her explanation isn't even adding up. So she said that fucking, I don't know why Will did that, and and she also says that Chris Rock leaned down to her and said, like, I meant no harm by that, and then she's like, oh, I couldn't take the apology. Like, dude, there were videos all of the entire thing. The entire thing, even afterwards, and all the way up until he got fucking called for the Oscar. Not once did Chris Rock lean down to you and fucking say a goddamn word. Not one time. Hello? Like, and if you don't believe me, you can look up fucking videos from that point after the slap to all the way up until afterwards. It never fucking happened. Chris Rock wanted to press charges. He was separate from Will. He didn't want to do shit. Talking was over at that point. He just got slapped and embarrassed in front of the fucking entire world. Alright, so he wasn't gonna fucking deal with that. Why would he go and talk to you guys afterwards? Like, what a fucking lying bitch. Are you serious? Like, the only, honest to God, Stevie Wonder can see through this bullshit.
I believe that Will did this after reading his book, is that it was actually just more of kind of a knee-jerk reaction that's actually based more in his childhood. Because if you read his book, he talks a lot about how a lot of times he looks in the mirror and sees a coward. And the reason that he feels this way is because growing up, he would see his father beating on his mother. And even though he was just a kid at the time who was pretty much powerless, he always felt bad for never stepping in and telling his dad to stop. And it's almost like he would just freeze up while his other siblings actually would try to help his mom out. And so that's why he said even as a man, even after he had all these accomplishments, kind of got everything he wanted in life, he would still look in the mirror and see this coward. So I'm sure when that moment went down, especially in front of such a big group of people, it was almost like a PTS thing, and he just not only had to say something, but completely see red and go up there and slap the man. Like I've told you guys this, to me, Will is pretty much an icon. He stars in one of my favorite sitcoms of all time, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Growing up, he was one of the biggest action stars out there. I always look forward to watching his different movies. But I think it's kind of gotten to the point where I can't really feel that bad for him anymore. And so a lot of people are speculating that this old shit she was talking about when she says, like, I'm sorry, Chris, Will was just mad about this old shit, is actually this, okay? They say Jada Pinkett Smith reveals that Chris Rock once asked her out amid Will Smith divorce rumors. He called me and basically he was like, I'd love to take you out. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, aren't you and Will getting a divorce? I was like, no, Chris, those are just rumors. He was appalled and he profusely apologized, and that was that. Either way, guys, it is crazy to me that she's come out with all this information about the separation.
And again, it's all fucking lies, as we found out, and it's pretty fucking evident as, you know, we'll get into another fucking video, but before we even do that, I'm not even going to fucking play the rest of that. But if you want to check out the video, even though it's 6 months old at this point, you can go ahead and check it out. Evidently, a lot of that seemed to be bullshit, because pretty soon after this all happened, and this is also her lying about the marriage proposal to fucking Tupac and shit, so this is what happened right after that. So I'm just going to refresh here.
I literally said to Jada, that's it. I retire. I retire from trying to make you happy. I need you to go make yourself happy and just prove to me that it's even possible. And after we cracked the hell up, we started talking about, we came into this false romantic concept that somehow when we got married that we would become one. And what we realized is that we were two completely separate people on two completely separate individual journeys, and that we were choosing to walk our separate journeys together. But her happiness was her responsibility, and my happiness was my responsibility. And me and Jada was reflecting about love.
Yeah, well, that pretty much ends that. So the divorce goes ahead pretty soon after this, and they are no longer together officially now. Like, they're just done. I'm sure they're as kosher as can be, because even after the fucking messy fucking way the divorce even ended up happening, he still tried to fucking save face for her, even after all the shit she fucking put him through. And she does something later that absolutely just kind of boggles my mind, but we're going to get to that in a minute. I want to get to Chris Rock clowning Jada Smith after Will Smith files for divorce. So let's play this.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
Will Smith can't seem to get a break. His wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, keeps talking publicly about their marriage problems. She even said that Will isn't just acting in movies. He's also putting on a show in their marriage.
My honest opinion about that is that narrative had more to do with the false narrative that I helped to create on the red table.
So poor Will because of
The adulterous wife
yeah.
who forced him to go to the table and sit there, you know what I mean? And now
You did. You did. So fuck you. You did.
I'll look at what she's done. She has the power with an eye roll to make him go up and slap somebody on stage.
Yeah, it's funny how much when you fucking cuck someone and constantly talk about somebody who's dead and fucking fuck your son's friend and do it blatantly right in front of him and then bring him out live for everybody to see, ruining his credibility a bit, so much so to the point where he's afraid to even be on camera from your own phone anymore. It's amazing how much fucking power that can give somebody, that an eye roll can make somebody fucking get the fuck up and slap somebody. Now, does that fucking exonerate Will Smith? Does that mean he did nothing wrong? Hell no. He's a grown-ass man, and I think he's starting to realize that now. But you knew more than anybody of his childhood fucking trauma with his own father and how he fucking abused his own mother. You of all people, Jada, knew his fucking struggles, and you knew how you could fucking manipulate that. So fuck you for that one. Yeah, you did fucking force him in front of the world and pretend that he was okay with being fucking cucked. Yes, you did fucking force that, Jada. Maybe not outright, but you sure as hell fucking did it. You ain't gonna fucking pull one over on me, you stupid bitch. I'm sorry. But, like, nah. We ain't going down that road. And I don't give a fuck if people are fans of her. If you're fans of her, click off this fucking video. Because it ain't for you. I'm gonna give you the honest, God's honest truth. Because I've been through relationships like this. And there's a reason I ain't with people like that anymore. And I have been with people where I have treated them very fucking well, and they have treated me well right back, and it is a 50-50 fucking thing, and it is a fucking awesome relationship. My last ex-girlfriend, the only reason we even aren't together anymore is because of reasons beyond either of our control. And she was the best fucking girlfriend I ever had, and I commend her, and I love her to death. Always will. She will always have a place in my heart. But she even told me, this is how you need to be treated. This is the person you need to go and find after we're done. It's somebody like me. And there are people like me. We're a few, we're a dime a dozen, but those people exist. You do not fucking help the world, Jada. You don't. and you don't help your own case, you don't help Will Smith's case, you are an absolute nonsensical woman who her story changes on a goddamn dime of a hat to make herself look good. Whatever makes Jada look good, that's what Jada gives a shit about. She can give a fuck about her own kids or Will Smith. You really think she gives a fuck about anything that doesn't involve her and her needs in that moment? Give me a fucking break. And of course, we get a fucking ad. By the way, video for this is brought to you by Hot Hut.
People online even more than when Jada said she had an affair with singer August Alsina. According to Jada, things have been bad since 2016. So why is Jada sharing all this personal stuff?
How unusual for Will, a guy who, I mean, on that kind of stage to do something so insane.
Absolutely.
It's totally out of character.
It's not him whatsoever.
And how did Will Smith react to her online posts?
Were you ever jealous of the love Jada had for Tupac?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I thought you were
Oh
gonna say
my
no.
God, that dude. Let me, and you know, and that was in the early days.
Yeah.
That was in the early days, and it was
still the days now. He was lying to himself, and he knew it.
Like,
let's not even kid ourselves.
that was a big regret for me too, because I could never open up to interact with Pop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and because we had a little bit of a thing, right? Because you know, they grew up together. And, you know, they loved each other, but they never had that, you know, they never had a sexual relationship, but they had come into that age where now that was a possibility. And then Jada was with me, you know, so, you know, Pac had a little thing on that, but she just loved him like he was the image of perfection, but she was with the Fresh Prince.
In a recent interview on an NBC News primetime special featuring Hoda Kotb, Jada Pinkett
Smith made a startling
revelation. She disclosed that they have actually been living as a separated couple since the year 2016, despite not having gone through the formal legal process for a divorce.
That in 2016, you and Will...
Marriage by convenience, we already gone over that.
But it was a divorce.
Since that time, both Will and Jada have been maintaining a facade, portraying themselves as the ideal couple in the public eye.
By the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying.
This unexpected twist has completely taken people by surprise, but that was merely the beginning of the interview. The atmosphere heated up even more when Jada proceeded to discuss additional details about their marriage. Jada also shared why they hadn't spilled the beans earlier. She said they weren't ready yet and were still trying to figure things out between themselves, particularly how to be in a partnership. This revelation adds another layer of complexity, given that they had been a couple for an astonishing 26 years before deciding to part ways in 2016. You'd think that over a quarter century would be enough time to figure each other out. It does strike me as odd, but everyone has their reasons for keeping things under wraps. Nevertheless, it's only a matter of time before the whole truth comes out. The interview didn't end there. Jada kept sharing more details about their rocky marriage, and things started to get really complicated. Continuing her conversation, Jada explained the reason behind their separation. She said, "By the time 2016 rolled around, we were both just tired of trying." She went on to add that they were both trapped in a fantasy, having unrealistic expectations of each other. This revelation threw the internet into complete disarray, shaking the image of them being the perfect couple. Interestingly, their decision to separate in 2016 came just 2 years after the release of J. Cole's song No Role Models, which...
Well, let's just get this out of the way right now. All right. They lived the facade, and everybody else bought that facade. Let's just straight up. Here's a little fucking newsflash for you folks. The perfect couple exists, but the perfect couple exists in your image, and what you know what you want, and you know what you want from the other person, and vice versa. And if they align, that's great. But sometimes you're not always gonna get along. What it really boils down to is, are you perfect for each other? That's the type of perfect couple that you should be striving for. So, little life lesson there. But we move.
Which makes you wonder about the timing. Now, the burning question on everyone's mind is, why haven't they gotten a divorce yet? They did agree to go their separate ways back in 2016, right? Jada Pinkett Smith has an answer for that. She said that she can't go through with an official divorce from Will Smith because she doesn't want to break a promise she made to him. Her exact words were, "Made a promise, and I haven't been able to break that promise." Honestly, this whole situation is turning into a complete mess. It's mind-boggling to think she wants to hold on to a relationship that's clearly not working. Let's backtrack a bit. In the same interview, Jada touched on an incident that landed Will Smith in hot water with comedian Chris Rock.
What is going on?
2022. Here's the context. During the 94th Academy Awards held on March 27th, 2022, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock for cracking a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's baldness.
On Oscar night 2020.
Not so much for me.
See if he was all right afterward. Stunned by what Will had done that she even checked to see if he was all right afterward.
And now I'm really worried for Will because I don't know what's going on.
After fine and wrong, he expressed his embarrassment, stating that his actions don't reflect the person he wants to be. Violence has no place in a world where love and kindness should prevail, he added. In the same post, he also extended his apologies to the Academy, the show's producers, the audience, and everyone tuning in globally. He even included apologies to the families of tennis legends Venus and Serena Williams and those connected to the film that earned him the Best Actor award. "I deeply regret that my actions have tarnished what was otherwise a beautiful journey for all involved," he acknowledged, calling himself a work in progress. Public opinion was divided on his apology. Some found it sufficient and felt it was time to turn the page, while others questioned the sincerity of making such a statement on social media. Meanwhile, the Academy had launched an investigation, but they had not yet reached a conclusion, until Will took matters into his own hands. For years, Will and Jada have faced a lot of chatter and gossip surrounding their marriage. Despite it all, they've usually stuck together and fought back against the rumor mill. Interestingly, just 1 year before they secretly decided to take a break in 2016, Will took to social media to fiercely deny any divorce rumors. In a 2015 post on Facebook, he wrote, "Normally I don't react to nonsense because it's contagious. However, so many folks have been offering me their sympathies that I thought, why not be foolish for once? So let me clear this up. Jada and I are not divorcing. If I ever choose to part ways with my queen, trust me, I'll let everyone know myself." He even included a hashtag saying that foolish people should be easily identifiable.
By the way, he did let everybody know by himself. So that was done.
It wasn't until a 2020 episode of their own show, Red Table Talk, that the couple admitted to taking a brief break from each other. During that episode, they discussed Jada's previous relationship with singer August Alsina. Jada famously referred to it as an entanglement back then. So why did Jada, who shares 2 kids, son Jaden and daughter Willow, with Will, choose this moment to finally admit that they're no longer an item romantically? According to Jada, the reason for their delayed public confirmation is simply that they weren't ready yet. She delves deeper into the subject of their separation in her upcoming...
Will tried to make it work. You didn't want to make it work because you wanted to do whatever the fuck you wanted to do, even if it was at the cost of your own family. It was a marriage of convenience for you. There. Any questions? I'm not even going to listen to the rest. I don't need to. You can watch the rest of the video from Hot Hut, but I don't even need to listen to the rest because I can smell bullshit from a mile away. I really can. Last video we're going to play is from Popcorn Planet, and I think this is the best takedown. And by the way, this is I think this is right after he announced that he's done and trying to make her happy, right? In the short we just watched. So right after he was done with this shit, this happens, right?
She demanded. This is my speculation stuff, but it sure looks like she demanded to come back on to correct the story, is what it sort of is being played as. So here she came back. This is not something most celebrities do. Come on the show 8 times in studio. This just reeks of desperation. You did a whole sit-down interview for an hour, Jada. You got a whole special. You don't come back in studio the next Monday, unless you're something really egregious, right, Steph? But no, she came back in studio, guys, and then you can just tell the energy between her and Hoda is different. Hoda's trying her best to be nice and give Jada whatever she thinks they did wrong, but let's start at the beginning. Here's the beginning of the interview.
Okay, here we go.
Say anything. Judge, you can't say anything. Yeah. And the beautiful part about it is this whole journey, as difficult as it's been, has just brought Will and I closer in such an authentic way. you know, instead of trying to be
Dude, what a delusional bitch. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. You are so deluded. You are so deluded. You are so up your own ass. Like, I have dealt with people like you for so long. For so long that I could just smell this shit, man. Like, it's going out of style. Dude. Holy shit. Like, he divorced your ass. There is no you're getting close. How are you perceiving this as we've never been closer? That's not the case. He's separated from you. He wants nothing to do with you. Like, the dude's doing this, by the way, from Popcorn Planet. He's just like, the fuck? Yeah, that's like everybody else in the world. Everybody else is like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's like just tearing all that down and finding what's true between us. Wow. And it's been beautiful.
So that was a question. I thought we had the Hoda part earlier, but it's fine. You get this taste. Hoda was asking her all this. Was it worth it? The stuff that's coming out. Hoda's pushing her a little bit and asking her this question. So then they go in and Hoda gives another puff piece. But there was a little bit of, you could just tell Hoda was pushing her a bit. Now, Steph, go to the second half, the beginning of the end of the interview. I want to play that large chunk here because Hoda's going to ask again here, and this is where you're going to see the tension start brewing.
You find another great love, or if Will finds another great love.
There's no finding another great love, and I think that's the point. It's like we are in a place now that we are in a deep healing space. And we are really concentrating on healing the relationship between us.
So it may not be the divorce on paper anymore?
There's no divorce on paper.
I mean, not on paper. There might not be a divorce in theory anymore?
Yeah, no.
Dumb bitch. He said he's divorcing you. It's already done. He filed for divorce. But okay. All right.
Oh, we really have been working hard.
Oh.
See?
Okay. Well, I didn't know that. We might
was trying to wait. I totally missed that on the whole. That's the whole thing.
So wait, just so I'm 100% clear.
Oh my
you were
God.
divorced, not on paper, but now we might be a point where we're back together.
We are working very hard.
Fucking God. Yeah.
Yes, bringing our relationship together.
Back to a marriage again.
Back to a life partnership.
Yeah.
Yes, because here's the thing about husband, wife marriage.
Pause it. Hoda's just losing her mind. This is so awkward, Steph, because she's like, duh, we're back together. And Hoda's like, I don't know that. You told me you guys were divorced.
Yep.
All these years. You went, boop.
Yep.
And now suddenly you're trying to tell me like I made a mistake and you guys aren't? And you're all like, I tried to block. No, you didn't do that. You're only doing that now because the backlash has been so brutal. And as Molly pointed out,
shit.
Messaging. She's been trying to do this drip of all these little stupid drama pieces, right? And it got exposed. And I'm glad we get to see this now because I didn't even realize she went back on the Today Show to try to act all like, you all had it wrong. No, Jada, you put it out there and now you regret it. And I don't know if Will is now even more upset as he should be or what, but that's what's coming from this. So let's keep playing because now she's watch her try to justify this even further.
For me,
Just hit play.
my healing process, I came into that with very specific ideas, right? Very specific ideas.
I came into that with very specific ideas. Keyword there is I. Not even word technically. Letter I. It's all about me. Me. Jada Pinkett. My deluded fucking brain. Jada Pinkett. It's all about me. I. No mention of Will Smith. Notice that? That's the sign of a deluded narcissistic fuck. That's exactly what that is.
So aggressive.
To me, just seeing
Yes.
Will as who he
Yes,
is.
guy
He
from Popcorn
can't
Planet.
be
Yes.
this perfect,
Agreed.
idealized husband.
So aggressive. Very aggressive.
To accept him for the human that he
Look
is.
at her talking down to Hoda.
Yeah. Yeah. Like she talks down to everybody. Which is why Will Smith clowned her, by the way.
That I am, and we want to love each other there.
Okay, so you might like live in the same house and have the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a fucking lie! Oh my god, no, I gotta show this. I don't care. Fucking claim me afterwards today. I don't even give a shit. Watch her facial reaction to this. Just watch. After whoever gives the question, right? Listen to the question again and watch her reaction. Watch Jada Smith's reaction.
So you might like live in the same house and have the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
You might live in the same house? Yeah. Am I the only one else that notices that? Like, no, bitch. You know you fucked up when you went on to the Today Show and made the fucking book delving deeper into the details of your marriage that not everybody needs to know about. And Will got pissed and he divorced your ass on paper and said, fuck it. And he said it to the world that that was going to be the case. And now you're really regretting it. That's exactly what's happening.
Oh, that's the only part. That's the only part in the special that I felt like got lost.
Well, guess what? It is found. We found it today. We found it today. Jada, thank you.
Keep going. Wait, I want to see even Al Roker does a dip better.
Your time. You guys check out the book Worthy. It's got a lot of life lessons in it, beautifully written, and it tells you so much about your life.
Hoda's like, oh, I hate my job.
About how you
Yeah.
raise your children, your life.
I would too.
Before it's full of richness. So Jada,
I'd hate my
thank you
job
so
too
much.
if this is what I had to deal with every day.
Tomorrow. All right, Mr.
Wait, watch this.
Check it.
We landed the plane, baby.
We landed it.
Yes. I like that. All right.
Even Al, now here's this. Even Al's like noticing the tension of this, like, oh, are we gonna crash? What's going on? Did we deliver this passenger the way she expected us to? Because the Today Show's a puff piece, you know what I mean? Like Today Show's morning TV. They got to be nice to celebrities. There's so much there, drama clearly behind the scenes of it all, and you can tell. And Jada's so condescending, Steph. Just talking down to Hoda, like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Like, we don't know your life, Jada, and what you put out has made us now just horrified and so confused, and none of us want to hear anymore. She's overshared to the point that it's like, why would we want a book from you? You've already put it all out there, dude. It's not like you haven't ever told anything about your private life or the family. That's all she does, Steph.
From your perspective, by the way, I'll add to this guy's point. From your perspective, Jada, not even from Will's, not even from your kids. From your perspective only. You self-conceited bitch.
So this book is just not working, and also, interestingly enough, I know we don't have the graphic, but you'll have to trust us. Go look it up. I'll check it. We can check it while we're live. But this is not the best seller, right, Steph? Of the memoirs that have come out on her opening day of the book sales, Jada was like number 3 or 4 behind Britney, of course, number 1, like Scorsese's book. Arnold's like neck and neck. But for her to not have the number 1 bestseller.
Fucking, the fact that she's even in the top 5 is a goddamn crime against humanity, alright? Like, it's a fucking crime. Like, especially with the amount of bullshit she passes around to make herself look good and to make others, you know, fucking seem less than, man. Like, it's such, like, that's such a crime against humanity, dude. Honest to God, I'll take a quote from Steve Harvey. The world is going to hell.
On the day of release, Steph? That says a lot. That says a lot that people are losing interest, because this should have been huge number 1 bestseller for at least the day. You know what I mean, Steph? And it wasn't. It's been lower, and it's starting to sink pretty fast.
Good.
So, massive failure on Jada's part. And this clip, I think these juxtapositions show how awful this inconsistent message was, and just again proves Jada's lies. Like, she's just so full of it, and she's so angry. You can see the anger seething to Hoda, who's trying her best to just like report the story as she's been told.
Yeah.
Bravo to Hoda for keeping it, classy. But my God, what do you think, Steph? I think Hoda wanted to slap her.
I want to slap her. What the hell? This is absolutely ridiculous. The inconsistencies of Jada, but, it's what we are to expect, really, at this point. I mean, what was it? A couple of days ago, we were reporting on the fact that, there's a lot of people, let's say, in the particular community, like 50 Cent, turning around and saying, hang on a minute, you, an illicit substance dealer? Get out of Dodge, get out of town, what you talking shiz for? So, yeah, Jada is getting it on all sides at the moment, and people are picking apart her story and tearing it apart for, the fiction that it is. Worthy should be in the fiction aisle, not the non-fiction aisle, it seems. But, yeah, with that being said, guys, on that bombshell, if you appreciated this video and you want...
Again, you guys could check out Popcorn Planet. I think they had the best take out of anybody covering this situation. You know what it showed me too, as I went through these sources, because you already knew what my opinion was going to be, right? But the craziest thing about this whole nonsense was so many people bought her bullshit. It really does seem that way, and the only people that didn't were Chris Rock, because he outright denied that he ever went to fucking talk to Will or Jada. Not that that was fucking hard, there was already fucking evidence of that being the case anyway, right? But fucking Popcorn Planet are the only two that I saw. The other two sources kind of believed it, and I'm over here guys, do you not see the narcissism in this? At all? Do you not see that there was at least, even if you want to say, there's also another perspective in this that nobody seems to want to hear? Not that he probably wants this information delved into anyway, but I'm sure he wouldn't mind fucking talking about it, especially now that he went and filed for the divorce, right? So he's done. He wants nothing to do with this shit no more, right? And then she's trying to fucking go on and she's like, oh, we're going in, we're gonna be fine, we're gonna be separate now officially, and then maybe we can heal separately. Bitch, you don't want him other than his fucking money that comes with Will Smith. Seriously, Will, you made the right decision. Don't go back with her. This woman was nothing but bad news to you from day one. And it was very obvious from how she treated you and how she saw you in a vulnerable state and used that to her advantage. And it ended up fucking costing you. Now that this had all come out, that he was done with the bitch, finally the new Men in Black movie's coming out. Right? That's already a huge sign for Will that he's back in the good graces, I think, of people that wanted to do movies with him again. Because after that incident with him and Rock, they were at each other, and I'm sure there's still going to be bad blood there, but a lot of people sided with Chris Rock, as they should have, right? But I think slowly over time, they stopped blaming Jada, or stopped blaming Will so much, and started blaming Jada Pinkett for taking advantage of his shortcomings and his mental instability when it comes to his PTSD and shit like that. And again, does that exactly exonerate Will Smith? No. Does that mean he's completely innocent in this? No. But, it's a lot like what we talked about last week with fucking Tweedledee, Tweedledum, and CM Punk, right? It's a matter of who's more wrong here. And I think more than enough people have come to the conclusion that it was Jada Pinkett. It's just obvious at the end of the day. Anybody that has ever had a friend like Jada Pinkett Smith, or a girlfriend like Jada Pinkett Smith, can easily smell this bullshit out from a mile away. And you could tell that they're only conceited with themselves and not with anybody else because there's no mention of her other people. No mention of her kids. No mention of of her fucking supposed husband. Not one time. But she'll talk gleefully about Tupac. And even when she talks about, for what I understand, when she talks about the fucking son's friend, the singer dude, she talks about that like, oh yeah, that was good for me. What about your son? What about him? What about Will? That in lies the problem. He probably felt like he couldn't say no to you because at the time you had such a stranglehold on the potential of ruining his career and also being a prick. And treating him lesser than, so he tried to keep the peace for the family's sake. Dude, if I'm Willow Smith or Will Smith's son, like, I want nothing to do. Like, this, anybody that fucking watches this as a fucking case study. Like, by the time this is all over, her kids are not going to fucking want to talk to her. And I don't fucking blame them. Because if I was a child, I wouldn't want to talk to them. I wouldn't want to talk to her. Like, at all. That's not somebody I want to associate with, you know? Never mind have that be my parent, you know what I mean? Like, and it really just kind of puts into perspective, like, how lucky I was to have the parents that I do, you know? And they divorced, but they did it the right way, and they did keep each other in my life and be peaceful in my life. You know, I'm very fortunate to be in that position. You know, and I know there are plenty of people that have broken homes like this, and I just feel for them, man. I really do. And it sucks when you're in that position. And I can only imagine how fucking tragic that must feel. Especially for Will, who tried to do everything to keep it from reaching this point. But at the end of the day, it was going to happen regardless because she wanted it to happen. And she was going to do anything necessary to get what she wants and what she wants only. Now, granted, there may have been a promise. Maybe Will got too carried away. I mean, can you blame him when his fucking future of his kids are kind of on the line? I don't blame him, right? Trying to be a good fucking father, unlike, you know, the father that was in his goddamn life. So, again, you got to commend that when it comes to Will on that front, but I don't know what else really there is to say other than she's a narcissist and she's a liar, a compulsive one at that, and nobody can trust a word she says anymore. Especially when you consider every single word that comes out of her mouth has been proven the opposite about this entire situation. Up to and including her own reactions to when at the Oscars, you know? And that alone, again, I'm not saying Will is innocent in that, but when you're that narcissistic and you're that controlling and you're that vindictive and that manipulative and that much of a horrible person as a wife and as a person in general, man, it's amazing. It's absolutely incredible how much control you can have over somebody. So that's about all I have for you folks today. I'm going to pause real quick so I can do one thing so we can go to the outro screen. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Will Smith Update Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as you can enjoy when it comes to a serious topic like this, but I feel like it needed to be said, it needed to be discussed, considering there has been a lot that's happened since the last time we covered this situation. If you want to see the podcast where I covered this before. You could actually check it out on the iCard above. You could check out on the end screen the last podcast we did with the final time we will ever cover the Young Bucks CM Punk fiasco with their revealing of the All In footage. And then obviously check out my uncle's second trailer, because that will be coming out very, very soon. So be on the lookout for all that, folks. And really, that's about it. Until next time, we will see you on the JHebert side. Peace out, everyone.